One champion has already advanced. Today, another looks to move on and start his climb towards the grand final. However, today, obviously, a day of Protoss looking to battle back against the overwhelming numbers of Protoss and Zerg. This is the World Championship Series, Europe Premier League. My name's James Carroll, and as always, alongside Sean Clark.
So far, we have 6 Europeans and 6 Koreans into the round of 16. But today is about MMA and its Terran brothers trying to make a wave and a dent in that round of 16, because so far, only a single Terran has advanced. 6 have been eliminated. Today's time for change.
All right, well, let's take a look at today's group, Sean. Group G, as we have it. Let's start with a WCS Europe champion. One of StarCraft's 2 legends, it's MMA.
It is the golden boy of the WCS who has revitalized his career within the system. He turned it around. He was at the bottom, but he stands here today as a 2-time finalist, and he's back to being one of the best Terrans out there again.
Next up, we have our 2 Millennium players, as both of them with quite the trail through WCS Europe and looking to make up those Terran numbers in the round of 16. It's Daishi and 4GG.
Daishi, one of 2 Millennium players, and he's really started to get recognized, especially within the European scene, as one of the better Terran players out there, especially with his performance last season, where he was able to break the round of 32 and finally, for the first time, make it to the top 16. And then we have the second Millennium Terran player. It is 4GG, who makes his 5th appearance today in Premier League. He's extremely motivated and has great work ethic, but he moved to Europe 2 years ago in search of money, fame, girls, and championships, but he's without the championships.
Sad times. And finally, as always, we have our 4th seed, our underdog of the group, who looks to continue the success in a similar way we saw Hearthstone prevail. It's LiveZerg.
It is the lonely Zerg player who stands strong facing 3 angry Terran players. It's his 2nd appearance, though, in Premier League, but he has alienated himself in today's group, but he packs a punch and he delivers surprises.
All right, well, that is our group for today, Group G. Let's take a look now at how today's matches are going to be lining up.
All right, so the first game of the evening is going to be MMA, the 2-time finalists against LiveZerg, followed closely by 4GG and Daishi. The winner of those will go up against each other for first place advancement. And then 3 players drop down to the lower bracket to fight for just 1 extra position into the round of 16.
And it brings us neatly on now to game number 1 of the day. Series 1 for this group, as we have that guy on the left-hand side looking to move on and advance on, and he's going to be going up against LiveZerg.
This is the start of a fresh and a new season for MMA. The start of what's meant to be a long and difficult journey to the finals. Standing in his way, the first competitor, it is LiveZerg, our 2nd Russian contestant, who is truly a guy who is difficult to play against. He can play it out normally. He can throw in aggressive plays to catch you off guard and win games instantly. If MMA overlooks LiveZerg here today and starts thinking too far ahead of himself, beware, it's cost many a tournament already.
All right, let's focus down a little bit here as we have our first player of the day. It's a guy who, again, really does stand atop the pile here in this group, looking to go far. It's MMA.
5 championships, $250,000, $250,000 to his name, more than double all 3 other players combined. He's the beacon of Terran Hope today. He's a living legend, and he's a contender for the entire season, especially because he's in search of revenge against MC. This is where it all starts for MMA.
And then we have our 2nd player, a guy who's trying to stand against a lot of Terran might today. But can he do it? It's LiveZerg.
Very much so the opposite of MMA. He's earned less than $10,000 to his name in StarCraft, a player who probably has dreamt of everything that MMA has achieved. Tonight, he enters, though, as an equal. He's a round of 32 competitor, just like everybody else in this group. It's not going to be easy for him. You know, it's not going to be easy. I repeat, it's not going to be easy. I repeat, it's not going to be easy for him. But he has the added benefit of the practice versus 1 race, like others have succeeded before him.
All right, it's time now for Series 1 of the day, as we have these guys good to go, as the countdown's already begun for our first game here. King Sage on Station will be our map between MMA and LiveZerg. And as you said quite a few times, it is going to be difficult here for LiveZerg. MMA is He's the guy for this group. He is the guy.
LiveZerg, who played last season in the Premier League, played against Jack G, and we all thought it would be an easy walkover. Jack G did walk away with the win, 2-1, but it wasn't easy, and he did drop a map within the series. LiveZerg's capable of winning the series fast. He's capable of dragging that long. And remember, he's the outsider. He's technically got nothing to lose today. Everyone's looking at Terran players to advance through, but he wants to stand strong against the Terran players, preventing them from extra slots within the round of 16, and that's definitely possible.
Yeah, it is. We've already seen Harstam accomplish pretty much kind of the same thing when he was seeded 4th, had to only prepare for one matchup. So now we get a really good glimpse and see exactly how LiveZerg has prepared for just the one matchup straight down the line. He's, you know, we'll see what he wants to do. Well,
MMA has been quoted before to drive his opponents crazy. That is his play style. He'll make you dizzy and then force you to find the GG button on the keyboard. And that's, I'm pretty sure, what he's going to be attempting today. He's playing live from Munich, where the Acer team house is. He flew into Germany just a couple of days back, ready to rock and kick it in the WCS.
All right, let's get right on in now. Game number 1. King Sage on Station is our map, as we have, spawning up to the top left-hand corner, our blue Zerg, representing Vega Squadron. It is LiveZerg. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, our red Terran representing Team Acer. It's MMA.
All right, game 1 of the day. We just have 2 days remaining, today and Saturday, before we complete 16 players to compete live from Cologne, Germany, in the ESL studios for the WCS Premier League round of 16. I wonder what MMA is going to bring to the table here. Is he going to start it off aggressively? Are we going to see a proxy barrack straight away? Is he going to look to put the pressure on to the underdog? Or is he going to look to play it out as super and as solid as humanly possible and just win with experience and win with it being able to outplay his opponent in every regard?
Yeah, I mean, one thing's for sure, he's scary almost across all matchups, I would say. So LiveZerg's got to be kind of, you know, have the fear of God in him at the moment, as MMA is quite the opponent. And you make a good point. We are reaching the conclusion soon of the battles here in the round of 32. So these are the last couple of slots up for grabs for these players. Don't want to lose it.
And one thing's for sure, Koreans are going to put the tally in their favor after today. It's currently 6 Europeans in the round of 16 and 6 Koreans, but today that will change for sure, as MMA is looking to kick things off with a 12 barracks and 12 gas. Remember his stats against Zerg, if you didn't see it just now in the player sheet, 11 wins and 2 losses in WCS, with losses versus Vortex, who was on fire in Season 3 last year, and Life from DreamHack Bucharest.
It's the Startail. It's the Stardust effect, right? He's
a killer.
Very, very similar losses, but everybody else gets absolutely crushed.
Well, LiveZerg's made no mistakes yet. We can give it to him. He's passed in 5 seconds the 3-minute mark. Now, he's passed and survived 3 minutes.
Brilliant.
And there we do have tweets coming through. Remember to hashtag WCS to get yours in there, because MMA's got his in there. And he says, Terran!
They're going to try and advance, that's for sure.
They are looking for top 2 slots today, because this is the last day of Terrans in the round of 32. If no Terrans advance today, which isn't possible, if only one advances, it's the last one we'll see.
That's true. All right. Well, he spots the Reaper moving out, so MMA not going for the kind of happy rhetoric of assuming that this Overlord was going to go straight on in and go.
He's only got one Reaper too. Only one Reaper straight to Reactor. And then he'll slap down his factory. So what he's going to be able to do here is pump out 2 Marines before he switches the reactor onto his factory. Bit of a difference. And especially considering the fact that Reapers just don't get that much done nowadays. I'm okay with this.
Drones are already down at the natural, though, so might be able to pick off at least one. So close, but yet so far. And those Zerglings now going to fend that off. So a nice little save there from LiveZerg, really knowing what's up.
All right, well, MMA goes in, sees no gases. But this is good for LiveZerg. I do like this position to be in, when you don't have gases, but you also aren't going to be facing any pressure anytime soon.
Comes in once again.
Yep, he's going to be able to save that. But he's not going to be able to face any pressure. There's only 1 Reaper. It's over to Marines, 4 Marines actually, or is it 2? Should be 2.
The 2 and then another 2 extra.
Oh, I guess the factory's not done yet.
Lines up all right.
Yeah, so going to be 4 Marines. They could, I guess, push out with Hellions, but a lot less likely.
Yeah, and this Reaper's going to have a hard time really breaching now on this ramp. He'll have to go all the way around if he wants to get any more information. Otherwise, unless these Queens are a bit slow on the uptake to defend. But aside from that, The old switcheroo, extra barrack, well, the extra starport added on here as well for MMA. Go, go.
All right, single gas by LiveZerg, just one. Should be looking at a second one soon, really. He's playing very mineral focus, which is a lot of drones, lings, and of course that third hatchery soon. But there's the second one coming in. So he'll be looking to get up towards Zergling speed pretty fast here to be able to defend against different types of units from MMA, Reaper, Hellions, potentially, I know, random Hellbats or something. But we do see MMA taking a fast second gas, or not a fast one. It's not as fast as it could have been, but it is decently timed because it's before the third command center. And he's already got a starport out. Is this a Viking first or Medivac?
Well, we'll find out in just a little bit. He did actually poke up there and spot the Roach Warren very quickly. So at least he lost the Reaper in the process, and the Hellions are getting a bit crazy. Want to pull out of there. Don't want to be losing one to a Queen, that's for sure.
Yeah, very early Roach Warren here.
Yeah.
Just safety. I mean, unless he randomly builds like 6 to go over the other side of the map, which I don't think that's going to be that effective. It should be just defensive units here. Which I guess can work considering you see nothing and is being prevented from scouting because there's a Marine stopping the South Overlord there.
Yep. Very difficult for him to really do anything with that. And double evolution chamber at the front as well for LiveZerg. So we'll see very soon what he wants to go for. I recall a lot of LiveZerg's games in the past from previous things. And he's got a few roaches on the way now, but I wouldn't be surprised if we actually saw a melee focus. He was really strong with melee focuses in the past. So we'll find out in just a little bit. He does still have options, of course.
All right, Viking out. Going to start clearing up some Overlords. Medivac right behind it. And we'll see how MMA is going to try and make this work. Remember, LiveZerg is in the dock. He's got no idea what's going on currently. But he has started missile attacks here.
Yeah.
And no Carapace yet. Doesn't have a gas for it, which makes sense for him not starting it.
Yeah, a few more drones still as well. He's been pretty greedy about his drone count, to be honest with you. He's getting up there. Wants to get a little bit further, obviously, with that third hatchery finishing up. And this Viking has already found an Overlord, but Queens are trying to hunt it down as well. You've got to be careful with those Queens being so far out.
Well, with no Baneling nest down, and the potential of going up straight to Roach speed here and a lot of Roaches, if he was to start to spend his money that way, he's going to start to build a strong army if he does that. I'm very interested in his plan for the time being. There's Carapace coming in, but he is going to play a very Roach-heavy style, which can work wonders. But here comes MMA's first attack. Medivac's there, and this is a little bit of a surprise. Remember, there's only a couple of Roaches, if I remember correctly. No Zergling speed.
Yeah, only 4 Roaches to really push this away, and it is forcing a few more now. Although you may consider the fact that maybe he was going to be building these anyway at this particular time, because he already had Overlords in production.
Yeah, but MMA without a super fast third isn't playing super greedy and has already units out there, so I'm not too worried about him at the moment here, but he does need to identify what he's playing against, which he has not done yet. And you do play very differently against Roaches than you would do the melee Zergling, Baneling, Mutalist style.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a lot of Roaches piling out. I mean, he already has 12 on the field. 9 more are going to pop. This drop on the left-hand side for MMA has gone undetected, so that's nice. But actually, the Queen already moving over there to prepare.
That was a nice moving out there by the Queen. Gives him a couple of seconds heads up. But MMA's going to see the Roaches now.
And he sees a lot of them.
Yeah, kills the Queen, sees a lot of Roaches, and all of a sudden Marauders should be made next from the barracks to the Tech Lab. And I'd be starting to get a little bit worried if I was MMA because there are so many Roaches out.
Yeah.
And now with seeing so many Roaches, you know you're not playing Mutalist, so you don't need turrets down. You can see Roaches on the right-hand side and inside the main base. That's a scary number. So he is adding on a couple of bunkers to make sure he's okay. And if you think about the mistake we saw Happy make in the last broadcast, he was out on his third and he had no idea it was coming. But MMA is tucked in a defensive state so far. But is he going to be able to continue the defense from that defensive state is another story.
Exactly. I mean, this is very Golden-esque in what we saw with your comparison to Happy there. So let's see how MMA is going to be able to hold this off. We've already seen it kill 1 Terran so far in the round of 32. And it's got a lot of firepower behind it, but this position is bunkered up for MMA.
And the longer this goes on, the better it is for MMA because he is going to have upgrades, but the assault's taken place already.
He's trying to push on forwards. He got one of those supply depots very, very fast, as does the bunker fall. In terms of actually pushing forwards, he has a huge army supply. Some of those Roaches are at the back, though, trying to defend against that, but all of those Roaches powering forwards for LiveZerg. He has so much behind this, and there's really not that much left.
No, there is not, and this is a very powerful attack here by LiveZerg. Capable, like we talked about, he's a dangerous player, capable of these types of attacks, and MMA's not capable of holding.
Very, very strong, powerful move here by LiveZerg in game number 1. Even if he doesn't kill his opponent outright here and now, he's already killed off almost 30 workers. This is a great move by LiveZerg.
There is more units coming across the map. If you look at the minimap here, there's nothing but units. He hits at 1-1 upgrades right before MMA has 1-1. And LiveZerg Ooh.
Get you.
Wins map number 1 here today.
All right, well, a little bit unexpected there, but well executed in its entirety. And I think for the most part there, MMA had a lot of the building blocks put together to notice that was coming, you know, with seeing that many roaches on the left, on the right, etc. But in the end, the defense wasn't there.
Well, if you think about what, you know, why that works so well for LiveZerg is MMA with a Viking and drop early.
Yeah.
The pressure. Remember those 8 Marines and all the Hellions that were fighting against a Queen and 3 Roaches? That's where kind of he had an advantage with an army supply because he built a lot of these units earlier on, but he didn't really do anything with them. So definitely could have been a bit more slowed down to where he would have been usually against that type of attack. For example, maybe 1-1 could have been done. It was only 20 seconds away. But as we see, the Russian player strikes one in his favor.
Yeah, and now MMA is an angry MMA. He expected probably to kind of breeze through in a 2-0 here in this situation, as did a lot of people expect that kind of result. But LiveZerg spicing things up a little bit and really bringing the fight to our Terran.
As mentioned at the start of the broadcast, you cannot overlook any opponent in the WCS. Everybody is capable on a good day to beat the other. And if MMA doesn't watch his guard, LiveZerg can go to the winners match here.
Next map will be Frost between these two guys to get things going. And again, there's a lot in a player like LiveZerg's arsenal that can easily surprise a player like MMA. You know, MMA, he's always going to be playing that standard go-to Terran play. There's not a huge amount of gimmick in MMA's play. As long as he covers himself, he should be all right. But LiveZerg, you never know what you're going to get.
Looking to stop all the Terrans in their tracks today. Definitely capable of anything here. 1-1 Roaches. Maybe Roach Bailing. Maybe Zerg and Bailing, as we saw last season. Very, very dangerous player to go up against. And you must be well aware of what could be coming your way. I remember on this map specifically, Frost here, this is where he beat Jack G last season with a Zergling, Bailing Roach attack. So we'll see how this next one shapes up.
All right, let's get into it. Game number 2 now to find out if this man up to the top left-hand corner can advance on to the winners match. Currently 1-0 up, representing Vega Squadron. It is LiveZerg. And up to the top right-hand corner, arguably the favorite, but not doing the business there in game number 1, representing Acer. It is MMA.
All right, what do you think that's going through MMA's mind at this current point after losing already a first map?
Darn. I mean,
Dawn.
oh, damn it. I don't know. I mean, I think that for MMA, that was just not really too expected to be losing the first map here in this group.
Look at this, though.
Hello.
Another SCV out already.
Yeah.
Looks like MMA's decided to take a bit of a risk here because this is a 4-player map. You do not know where he is going to spawn. And he just immediately decides to go for this. So he doesn't know where LiveZerg is. And we are going to see MMA place the barracks there. So
equal distance to every base.
Yeah.
But it doesn't quite pack the punch that you would ideally like it to.
Yeah, so he could have gambled more and just thrown it closer to 1 base or closer to 2 bases, but he's thrown it kind of in the middle, which is not going to be easy to spot. Right where he's put it should be outside of the Zelnoga Tower range, otherwise this is the silliest little proxy ever, but it should, not be in range of that. And it could catch his opponent off guard, who would not be expecting a player to throw a build like this when he's 1 game away from being pushed down to the low bracket.
Yeah, and to be fair, in the end, that's kind of what does make MMA a very dangerous player as well. You know, I was saying just before this game that he doesn't oftentimes throw in gimmicks. It's normally standard goes to, but he has the capability of doing something like this, and he has the control to do something like this, which makes him all the more fearsome in these situations.
Well, let's just say MMA, throughout his career, has won games off the back of this, just like some of the top-tier Terrans. And he's going to scout to the bottom right, sees nothing, is going to send another SCV to the top left, doesn't even know where to send his first Marine. He actually doesn't know where to send it. It's going to be to the top left. He's going to gamble a little bit here and send it in one way. Imagine if it was the other way. Oh, he's going to leave it.
He's positioned it
Pivot
just between the both.
He's like a squash player in the T.
Yeah.
And the T mark, and now he knows.
He finds it. All right, well, here we go. Let's see how this is going to work out.
LiveZerg has no idea.
Yeah.
No scout outside the front. He's totally expecting either a Reaper or a Command Center first. He still doesn't see it as the bunker's just slightly behind. and now he sees a bunker being built, and already he's in trouble.
Yes, he is, because that second bunker at the back,
Yeah.
it's all right with the first bunker, but, I mean...
He's calm so far.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not pulled drones off the line on needlessly.
And now he's pulling a lot off, realizing that the threat is real with a second bunker.
There can be a third bunker to make a wall here, remember?
Yeah, if it does go down, then that's catastrophic, but he doesn't realize that that bunker was there until just now. Finds it as he pulls forwards with that. And that's not the best position to be in here for LiveZerg in game number 2.
No, no, it's not. But he has Zergling speed on the way, and he immediately got back into gas, realizing that he will need a Baneling nest here. He's going to try and break through, whether he runs past with Zerglings, whether he tries to use Banelings to break this down, whatever. He's going to build up a lot of links.
Yeah.
He's going to start to get ready for a big, big launch after this. I wonder how MMA is going to start to think of planning this out. Does he already start to build a command center back at home? He's already moving his barracks. See how that? He's going to make a wall off with 3 barracks, most likely, or at least the command center in the wall. A big wall he'll build, whatever it is.
And from LiveZerg, this is kind of like the good old Leanox style of busting down this. He's like, well, I don't care if you're going to actually kill that hatchery. It's time for the Banelings, time to crush through.
I would like him to run past, more so than just break it.
Doesn't that leave you like totally vulnerable at home? I guess the
Spinecrawler
is okay.
And Queen, and maybe a couple of defensive Banelings himself.
Yeah, would be okay.
Yeah, if he can balance both, maybe. But MMA without a wall so far.
Yeah,
oh, he's actually going to his main base, so...
Ooh, okay, that's even riskier, I guess. Because, I mean, the supply depot wall at the top can be busted very quickly by something like Banelings if they did run past.
Well,
he's going to bust it.
Yeah, 6 Banelings is more than...
more than just defensive, right?
Scan sees every movement, and he decides to pull his barracks to the front. You see that? Scans then moves the barracks to complete a 3 barracks wall off here to make sure that nothing does run past and stuff. He knows it's a 1-base Ling Baneling. That's all he has to defend against.
Yep. So now we're going to see if LiveZerg can like pull any tricks out of his hat, because otherwise he's going to be kind of pounded into the ground. A lot of these Zerglings and Banelings move forwards. Kill off that first bunker with the aid of the Zerglings.
Try not to waste the Banelings, notice, but it's also taking a long time to kill these Marines.
And loses quite a lot of Zerglings in the process. Resources lost. A little bit bad here for LiveZerg.
I don't think he's going to be able to do this. It takes like, I don't know the exact number. I think it's like 10 Banelings or 12 to blow up a barracks. That's a lot, and then he won't have too much behind. There are Marines being built and a bunker, and if need be, another wall to go back to the main.
Yep. It's difficult. He's going to start working on the barracks that isn't complete, which technically could have gone all right if the SCV was on the left-hand side, but it's not.
So this is going to be very hard to break through.
Just morphing in a few more Banelings probably very soon and trying to bust this down, but LiveZerg knows he's in a bit of a horrible position. I mean, he knew that from the very beginning of all of this unfolding. And even 2 Marines were left at the left-hand side to try and sneak in.
MMA's now building 3 Marines here. He's got only 4 behind the wall, remember. Only 4, so a second bunker is needed for sure, because if there's only 4 Marines, that's not a lot of damage once this wall is broken. And we do see 12, 13 Banelings in total here.
And
11 Banelings in total.
With the Marines, he got full confirmation that there was no hatchery or anything.
Another wall, double engineering bay wall.
Yeah, all he has to do is completely wall this off, keep separating things down, and he knows that if he survives this attack, he wins.
Yeah, especially because he's seen the no natural. He just knows. So, one last effort here. Otherwise, LiveZerg would go to a 3rd game after a quick start. He's building more and more and more. Something tells me this wall's not going to be broken easily. Yeah,
something tells me that this isn't a big enough horn to break down those walls of Jericho. This is going to be very, very difficult. That is a strong wall if I've ever seen one.
And then you got Hellions behind it. He scans and sees still low drones, still mining gas. Builds a 4th bunker. If LiveZerg breaks this...
it'd be pretty impressive.
If LiveZerg breaks this, a bunker on the high ground... Here we go. He's got a lot of Banelings here.
God,
it's like 12 or so to break the barracks. He's expecting a bunker behind it too, so he's going to try and break through both.
All right. And there we go.
So it tells me this isn't going to work, Glorious.
All right, he's going to try. Actually lifts up a lot of that to try and save it during all of this. The things get through, but there's not enough.
There is 8 Marines in a bunker,
GG.
Another 4 outside of the bunker. 1-1. Finalist fights back.
All right, a little bit of an elongated game there for an inevitable defeat for LiveZerg, but at least he gave it a go to try and kind of break through after that had occurred. MMA kind of just got the upper hand on a whim there.
Willing to take a risk.
Yeah.
from a very strange position to be in, but it's now game 3. An unexpected strategy coming out from MMA to capitalize on the fact that LiveZerg is a Zerg there. You do not expect this because it's a 4-player map.
Yeah.
On a 2-player map against MMA or another Korean Terran, you do see a lot of Zerg players scout and try to figure out if this is happening. But on a 4-player map, it's so hard to make work because of the distance and not knowing where he is. That's why it worked, really.
Yeah. Pretty clean cut, I would say, in that second game. So now we go on to Habitation Station for game number 3. And technically, all kinds of things are still possible here on this map.
Could do the same. Imagine that 2 wins with 2 proxy barracks. Imagine that.
Especially since there's a good opportunity to also wall off once again with 3 bunkers if you want on the top of the ramp. But anyway, we'll find out in just a little bit. As still, LiveZerg, if he kind of held off something like that in the earlier stages, if you think about the other side of what could have happened in that game, he could have been fine. And we could have seen MMA plummet out. So the gamble paid off for MMA, but there is always the potential that it just doesn't work.
I mean, when you have LiveZerg and Daishi, who are more than capable of beating good players on a good day, and then keep in mind that 4GG, who is playing in a group with other Terran players, and we know how good he is, Terran versus Terran, you know, it's not clean cut that MMA just easily advances today. He's got to be careful. Yeah,
he really does. Especially when, you know, LiveZerg can bring out games like he did in game number 1, where it's just, well, an absolute sledgehammer's worth of roaches just power down and kill you. So that's a scary thing to go up against. Anyway, Habitation Station is now loading up. Countdown has begun for game number 3 here. And it's 1-1. So still can go either way. I would still favor MMA, though.
Still favoring MMA, but the way that the WCS has unfolded so far this season, it's more than capable that the underdog is able to topple a winner. I mean, we've seen MVP go down. We've seen other top players start to lose games here and there. You know, this could be a loss for MMA.
I mean, all I have to do is say the sentence, Jack G is not in the round of 16, and then it's kind of weird. So anyway, let's get into the next game here, game number 3, as we have Habitation Station loaded up and good to go. So let's get into it. Spawning up in the top right-hand corner as our blue Zerg. It is LiveZerg. And spawning over at the goal base, it's Acer MMA.
MMA!
All right.
MMA! Not MKP!
No, not at all.
All right. MMA takes the gold.
Sick.
He takes to the goal. This is going to be spotted quite fast by this Overlord, and then we'll see LiveZerg's reaction. And this is obviously something which, you know, European Zergs have encountered.
Yeah.
It's not like this has not been played out before.
Yep. All right.
Does not want to overestimate or underestimate this attack, LiveZerg. There's definitely times where as a Zerg I've seen play, no problem. You know, no problem, a couple of spines, whatever, and still go hatch first and still lose to this. It packs a punch. There's a lot of Marines that are going to come into this game quite fast. And of course, SCVs to be pulled off too. Gas immediately taken as pont spot in this. Going straight up towards Zergling speed, not messing around here.
Not at all. No drone pull though, which is nice, because those are the shortest games on Earth. So at least we do see this get to see this unfold out a little bit as the hatchery spawning pull has now been taken here for LiveZerg. Where's the gas? Get the gas, get the gas.
So, a pretty aggressive opening from MMA, but also from LiveZerg too, who's looking to deal with this with Zergling speed quite fast. Or, well, at least it looks like it. He could go up to Roaches, you know. There's no reason for him not to go up to Roaches either here off one base. We'll see where he goes, but it looks like he's well prepared to deal with something like this from MMA. So we'll see what MMA can do from this.
Yeah.
And if he really believes this can work.
I guess this must happen a few times on ladder at least. People must be doing this on ladder at those levels. So, you know, he's got to have played against it a little bit. There's a few Zerglings in production now.
Yeah, just Zergling speeds and then Zerglings. MMA's not going to do this if he doesn't believe in it. So, all you Terran fans out there, MMA believes this to work. Otherwise, like I said, he wouldn't be doing it. So, we'll see.
Gas has been taken behind this from MMA. He sees a few of the Zerglings, and he's already sending his Marines out there to pressure this natural. Wait, he's only holding the watchtower for now.
Yeah,
so
I mean, the SCV saw the lack of natural and saw that Zergling speed is on the way.
Yeah.
So he knows it would be quite stupid to move out soon with the Marines that he has. he would get
Just
overrun.
too few, yeah.
5 Marines here are better than 6 Lings, of course. 3 Marines can tackle, but not without vision there for the Lings. Interested to see where MMA is going with this. Is he just going straight up to Medivacs here, or what?
Well, with the double gas, there's a lot of options available to him. Straight to Medivac would be nice, I guess, but...
And this is where I think LiveZerg may start to, you know, lower an experience against playing about this. I think that...
yeah, because it doesn't evolve normally out.
Like, usually not, but it is going to. MMA sending round an SCV to figure out what else is going on. You know, check units being made, drones being made. Factory is out here for MMA. Still Marines being produced.
Back in gas for LiveZerg. And did he get speed overall?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
All right.
He's looking to further his economy to edge in front so that he should be able to build more units over time here. MMA is preparing in case there's an attack because he still doesn't know really what's going on. Does see the hatchery complete.
A little bit scared about the idea of Baneling bust, I guess. This.
Yep, he is.
Oh, speaking of Banelings.
Yeah, it's not really a Baneling bust. This is defensive Baneling nest. But the income lead is heavily going in favor of LiveZerg now, so he shouldn't want to drone too much here. His opponent's on 1 base.
And he'll know that for quite a while, considering the Zergling position.
And he's starting to take a 200-300 mineral income per minute now, which is quite a lot if you think about that ticking by every minute.
Yeah, you got to think about the percentages at this point in the game compared to later on.
And we have a factory with a tech lab on it.
All right. Is he just gonna swap those over and go for a Banshee or something? Or is... tanks.
Tank, man.
I was going to say, it was a bit of a weird timeout if he was going to swap it over instantly. So, tanks are on the way. He's going to add the tech lab onto the barracks.
MMA doing a lot from 1 base, even scanning, and checks the Baneling nest out. Sees more drones, most importantly. 4 additional drones.
Yeah.
And now the income's double. Double for LiveZerg, who takes a 3rd as well, and another gas.
And MMA is still stuck in this corner of his world. I mean, again.
And it doesn't look like he's going to move out anytime soon either, which is the interesting part here. Set up very cool and defensively, but now creep is being spread. LiveZerg, I think, is in a decent position here.
I mean,
as long as he can balance an army size that is able to deal with what MMA has. LiveZerg's checking to see if there's another base on the left-hand side.
Yeah, he doesn't
He's checking down the bottom left as well. He's like, you seriously still in 1 base?
Because I mean, LiveZerg feels comfortable enough right now to throw down a 3rd hatchery, meaning...
he'll just... I don't see a single drone being made from this point. Only units, and he'll build a massive Zergling Baneling army.
I mean, 38 drones against 21 SCVs, are you kidding? What is MMA going to do from here? He has to look to kind of kill him soon, otherwise he's going to get overwhelmed.
Well, a drop in the top is going to start things off here for MMA.
It's an alright start.
All the units are down at the bottom, and this has gone undetected so far, which was a nice movement, but also sloppy from LiveZerg not to have an overlord in position there to spot this.
Especially since there's 3 up to the north that just probably missed it barely by a hair. Losing a queen initially, maybe a few drones will fall. That's a nice start here for MMA to start this kind of recuperation of his position that he needs to be in.
Really good start here. Gets out with everything after killing quite a bit there, and backs off again. But still, well, he's replenishing the drones he lost. And then 14, 16 extra Lings. But here comes the push. The drop's still a pain in the main base here. Could kill an Overlord or 2.
I don't think he can make this push work without stim, though, right? Surely he would...
Oh, dropping 1 Marine at a time on Banelings there. That was nice.
It's a good trade.
Here come the tanks. They're going to have to target down these Banelings. Still interested to see how this is going to shape up.
That's a lot of Zerglings getting right on top of the tanks. If they bring those down, that's significant loss of firepower on this army. But another big tank as well as Marines once again. Without having stim, that was actually a good split up of those Marines, unbelievably.
Look, counterattack was on the other side, by the way. A couple of Lings did get in there.
Doing all right. Any SCV can kill at this point is a win, especially since it's almost mined out in there.
12 more Lings. Baneling speed, ultimate killer.
Yeah, Baneling speed is just going to absolutely ravage this army if he's not careful.
Still, this interesting choice from MMA to play like this.
And you've got to be so slow with about how he moves out, right? Because he only has 1 command center, thus only 1 command center's worth of scans, which he has saved up all the energy on. So that's what he's going to be using it for. He can't really move forwards.
Where's he going?
Really?
Yeah, really.
All right then. Okay, we can do that, I guess. All right.
Interesting position.
Go siege tank.
Remember, he can always evacuate if things start to go bad with his medivacs.
Yeah.
And he is continuing to build up still.
More Zerglings flooding on in here. That's a lot of Zerglings trying to wrap around those Marines, and the Marines evacuate on out, but that siege tank needs to be picked up. And no.
No, took too long to unsiege to be able to pick up there.
Yeah.
All right, still a lot of Marines still there. And Zergling speed about a Baneling speed about a complete for the 9 Banelings made. Supply's not that different. This is a learning experience here.
It's a little bit wacky, I must admit.
You can do a lot from the gold base. It's one thing to learn here. He picks up, gets out again. It's
Marine tank versus the just Ling Baneling, but he has still 36 workers over 21, and the income is going to be, once MMA is mined out, like, what do? You fly back to your main base? It's going to take a while.
Yeah, he's got a couple of thousand minerals left. Double drop action now, though. He's got units at the top, units at the bottom. I'm surprised he didn't decide to get combat shields here. I guess he's really throwing everything into these tanks. Spire's definitely an interesting choice. Not sure if that's going to work as well. Could. Because he's not going to have that many Mutalisks, but I see the idea.
Yeah.
Stop the Medivacs from doing all this. But that's, you know, they're not going to be that good at combating against these Marines, I don't think.
It's true. He knows he's kind of weaker at the flanks, right, compared to through the middle. And the Medivacs being shut down would be nice, but they just keep darting around for the moment, and they're getting themselves any damage where they can. Resources lost. Let's take a look at that. Technically in favor of MMA, but LiveZerg's mined a whole lot more.
MMA is still building up an army. Definitely think the combat shields is probably worth an investment in here.
Can he do this?
Okay, yeah, cool.
Can he do this, though? Off of one base, off of one gold base, with this Siege Tank Marine play, his control's good, but is it this good to be able to overwhelm this Zerg player?
Mutalisks could surprise him as well, remember. Yeah. Imagine if the Mutalisks were ready right now, 6 or 7 of them, with all the Lings and Banelings underneath, he'd probably lose all the units there, so...
Okay, doesn't want to be losing any of these Marines at all to this.
Does not know about the Spire.
Yeah. Still hidden at that natural. How many tanks does he have? 4 with 35 Marines against...
7 Mutalisks now. But MMA's really stopped his heavy harass. He's getting ready for a big kill soon.
Yep, it's going to be pushed away at the south. LiveZerg now just looking to survive, basically. If he does, then he'll have the CM in the back, but MMA is relentless with this.
This is where it gets dangerous, starting to lift in here, especially near Mutalisks are on the way out.
Yeah, gotta be careful. Still a few Banelings in. There's 10 Mutalisks about to pop. The initial 7 do.
Oh, nice salvo there. But he also has a boost on these Medivacs.
All right, so does he see those Mutalisks? He doesn't with these Marines. They're keeping themselves hidden, and now he sees them. So he's got to be very, very careful, trying to get out of here very quickly. That Medivac full of Marines.
It's got boost.
Oh, being able to save that is fantastic for MMA. So close to death.
30-40 supply difference. Combat shield's now done as well. MMA's bringing everything. Even the command center. He's going to his opponent's gold.
To the gold.
That is pretty interesting. That is pretty sick. Uh-oh, everything's unsieged.
Ah! Okay, well, Lings and Banelings try and flood on in here while you got 2 of the siege tanks at the front with those Medivacs. That cuts down a lot of the DPS. One of the siege tanks isn't even sieged up. Oh! Bye-bye, economy. All right.
All the SCVs are gone. There's only 8. He has to go kill them now, otherwise the game's over. Yeah. Because he will not be able to continue on in this game.
That was a lot of Banelings.
9 more Banelings. 9 more Banelings.
Oh, wait, okay. He has 11 Mutalisks. If he doesn't kill him now, it is over. LiveZerg here, bringing the fight to MMA, catching anything he can here.
There's not enough Marines.
Yeah, he can't bring the Mutalisks down. Not bringing those down. This is catastrophic for MMA. LiveZerg now doubling his opponent's supply, vastly superior in terms of the income. And any little thing he can get killed here, there's no Marines to kill off the Mutalisks. These siege tanks are going to die.
32 supply to 99. Looks like LiveZerg's going to topple a champion of the WCS and a finalist from last season. 2 games to 1. LiveZerg. Terrans are not having a lot of fun in this season.
No, they are not. Congratulations to LiveZerg on his first win in this group. Commiserations to MMA, who now falls down to the lower bracket.
LiveZerg's first win in Premier League as well, because last season he went 0-2, only winning a single map versus Jack G, but he's now just beaten MMA.
Yeah. Beaten MMA,
and now, if you think about it, MMA stats coming into today, 11 wins and 2 losses. It's now 11 wins and 3 losses. And LiveZerg joins Vortex and Life as players who have eliminated MMA in the WCS.
What a result. What an upset we see here from our Russian, now advancing onto the winners match. But for now, guys, that does it for Series 1. Join us after the break when we have Series 2 ready to unfold. It's going to be a TVT between Daishi and 4GG.